Dana Cowley, and welcome to Charter Local Edition Northwest. Today we're in Salem and we're talking to your elected leaders about what they're doing this session. My guest today is Representative Mike McLane. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You
Appreciate
represent the Powell Butte area, and you're concerned about the state of poverty for the people you represent.
Well, District 55, which goes from, Prineville down to Lakeview over to Medford, around Bend, it's one of the largest and most rural districts. But statistics in rural Oregon all across the state are abysmal, meaning that there is high child poverty rates, high hunger rates, access to food banks, high unemployment. The recession and its tepid recovery is lingering in rural Oregon, and we need to do more in Salem for rural Oregon.
What are you working on to correct that this session?
Well, we're doing a couple things really to focus on, number one, making sure people have access to clean water and food, and part of that is making sure the food bank is financially budgeted at the way they need to be. But we've put forth an idea of a food donation tax credit from ranches and farmers to try to facilitate the food banks getting good food.
And then what do you think we need to do at the grassroots level to create jobs to end this? Because ultimately, through education and through jobs, we can pull ourselves out of this.
Well, we can. We didn't get here overnight. Rural Oregon has really suffered from a 4-decade-long natural resource rollback, in that we have a state with bounty of natural resources. And in an economy that was built. In fact, when Portland was being built up in the Willamette Valley, we sent our timber and our cattle and really invested in the buildup of Willamette Valley. But now, because of the federal logging rollback, in fact, the time between me graduating in college and serving in the legislature in 2011, 90%, 90 reduction in federal lands on timber harvest. 90%. So when you take the federal timber harvest declines, the land use system, which is long and expensive to make any changes, and now potential listing of the sage grouse, which will cut off cattle grazing on federal lands and restrictions on private lands, you're looking at a 3-prong assault on the economy of rural Oregon. That you just don't recover from that overnight.
So what would be the steps forward with education that you'd like to see?
Well, one of the things that we've asked for, and we've actually got passed this session, is to wire rural Oregon with broadband because of the choices that are being offered both on private and public education. When people are able to connect with broadband connectivity, there's opportunity there. So we got that bill passed. We're trying to get the tax credits for food donations passed. And all that we can do to give people access as if they were sitting in downtown Portland, we're going to try to do.
We only have about 30 seconds left, but before this short session ends, what's the number one thing you'd like to accomplish before you go home?
I'd like to make sure that the budget reconciliation that we're going through doesn't impact the basics of shelter, water, and food in rural Oregon. And right now, those agencies need to make sure they're up and providing services. And there's a competition going on, and I'm going to be arguing for rural Oregon.
All right, thank you. Representative Mike McLane, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. This is Charter Local Edition Northwest, and I'm Dana Cowley.